I remember in 2019 when we did that interview. This is what you said, Guneet. I said, "Kab se chahiye Oscar?" And you had said,
I think जब से business में आए तब से हर रोज 10 साल तो हो गए. It is very humbling and overwhelming to just be there as a nominee. मतलब win तो is next level. कहीं ना कहीं हाँ मैं ऐसा बिल्कुल रोज सोचती हूँ और रोज बोलती भी हूँ कि ऑस्कर तो जीतना है.
Radio Nasha.
I'm so sorry guys, like, and I'm having a complete moment at this point because I am holding India's first ever Oscar. My name is Rohini, आप देख रहे हैं Radio Nasha and ये अब तक तो मेरा नहीं हुआ है. जिनका है वो मेरे साथ बैठी हैं Kartiki and Guneet. Welcome to Radio Nasha. Congratulations. Like I'm very excited.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
ये लेवल ऑफ एनर्जी सिर्फ मैं लाई हूँ इस इंटरव्यू में. आई कांट इमेजिन हाउ इट्स बिन. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद दैट. पिछले कुछ दिनों से जिंदगी कैसे बदली है?
I've been trying to breathe. It's been a lot, but it's been beautiful. The journey has been simply amazing, and ever since The Elephant Whispers announced, I think we've just been overjoyed. I remember I was trying to hug Guneet, and then we also realized we had to run on stage because the time was ticking. So I literally pulled her hand and we came. We were like, let's go. And we realized we couldn't hug each and every one of us like right there. Correct. We just ran up on stage and
we were holding hands before that. And then the camera person came to us and said, you guys can't sit together. The camera, you need to sit with one person in between. So our plus ones were in between. Before that, we were like holding hands and sitting together. And you know, and like a minute before, a camera person said, and they checked for all 5 films, you know, sitting order for camera, this thing. So we were just like, okay. And we were just told you have 45 seconds from the time the name is announced. So while we wanted to hug and, you know, be like, oh my God.
It's a race.
I was like, 45 seconds.
जल्दी चलो. You know, मैं अपने ऑडियंस को बता दूं कि 2019 में गुनीत, when you won the Oscar for Period End of Sentence, हम उस दौर में मिले थे. And मैंने आकर आपके ऑफिस में एक इंटरव्यू किया था. And तब मैंने पूछा था कि ऑस्कर कहाँ है, मुझे ऑस्कर देखना है. And मैं अपनी ऑडियंस को बताना चाहूंगी of course कि what is the difference between the win for that film और Elephant Whispers, अगर आप मेरी ऑडियंस को बता सके तो.
Absolutely. So पीरियड एंड ऑफ सेंटेंस फिल्म स्टार्ट हुई थी अमेरिका से. वहाँ के स्कूल के बच्चों ने, ओकवुड के बच्चों ने शुरू की थी. तो एंड इंडिया से सिक्खा एंटरटेनमेंट केम ऑन बोर्ड एज अ प्रोड्यूसर. तो इट इज़ टेक्निकली अ को प्रोडक्शन. वो एक शॉर्ट फिल्म है बट वो अमेरिकन फिल्म है जो हमने इंडिया से को प्रोड्यूस की थी. बट उसका अगर आप स्टेटस देखें फिल्म वाइज तो वो एक अमेरिकन फिल्म है. तो उसके अंदर वाइल सिक्खा एंटरटेनमेंट वाज अ प्रोड्यूसर, मेरी कंपनी, मैं पर्सनली एग्जीक्यूटिव प्रोड्यूसर थी. तो एन एग्जीक्यूटिव प्रोड्यूसर का रोल होता है एक सिग्निफिकेंट रोल जो फिल्म बनाने में योगदान देते हैं. एंड प्रोड्यूसर तो एंड टू एंड होते हैं. तो एलिफेंट विस्पर्स सिक्खा एंटरटेनमेंट it's end to end in Indian film. It's end to end in Indian production. Sikha Entertainment is the producer, and Achin Jain and I, Guneet Monga, are producers on the film. And that's why one of us was nominated. So I was nominated, and now I have a trophy on my name at the win. So that is the journey. So this is an Indian production, the first Indian production ever to win. First producer, first director. There are too many firsts. And
too many firsts, and your first film.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
कोई pressure नहीं है बाकी के career पे.
Legend.
Do you feel the pressure now for the rest of the movies that are coming?
Yes, a little bit, but I think coming back to reality, still have to go out there. A lot of work to do on the conservation side, and just need to go out and make more films. I guess this is the beginning.
You know what's the most fulfilling part of this win? Of course, it's important, and of course, हिंदुस्तान की पहली पिक्चर है जिसको ऑस्कर मिला है, हमारी फिल्म है जिसको ऑस्कर मिला है. So I'm just breaking it down because sometimes you might not understand the nuance of how big this victory is, and I think we must do that. What is also very wholesome for this win is the fact that there are 2 women, you know, who are holding these statuettes, and you know, this is a win for women, the working women of India. You know, and that to me is everything. So do you want to talk to me about that moment where you felt that, did you ever feel that you're representing a lot of us as well?
Yeah, I think totally. And also a lot of love. We've gotten so much love from the country back, and a lot of messages that I've had a moment to read have been like, this feels personal. This feels like we can also do it. And you know, that reassures our faith, because here is Kartiki, with her first film, you know, and she did not wait for anybody's permission. She found the story, took the camera, started shooting, built a reel, and then found a producer, then found a studio in Netflix. And that is something that I celebrate so much, I love so much. And if there is the biggest stage in the world, I can scream and shout, would be like, please look at this. Yeah. Look at this wonderful director who just started on her own. Correct. You know, so if it's possible for all of us. You know, so we stand here as true testimonies that it is possible. Sikhi Entertainment is a homegrown independent studio, you know, and we've been doing films that have traveled, but we have never had the opportunity to, you know, work and collaborate with a huge footprint superstar here, you know. So I just feel that is also why this really feels personal, because we are indies. Yes. You know, and
yes, absolutely. It's a win for indies. Yeah.
And it's a celebration of indies. It's a celebration of story. You know, it's a celebration of faith in storytelling, and in filmmaking, because it's possible. You know, it's possible for women. It's possible for first-time filmmakers. There's no rules to this. So I actually articulated this with a lot of comments that came back, and a lot of people were like, if you can do it, it feels I can do it. You know, if you're walking that champagne carpet, it feels like हम भी कर सकते हैं. तो वो बहुत बड़ी बात है कि you know, from our backgrounds, from where we come from, I mean, it's epic.
I mean, if I was you, honestly, मैं तो बहुत रोती, लेकिन क्योंकि वो मैं हूँ, I'm sure you had that emotional sort of up and down, but I'll never forget that moment when you were on that stage, because we were watching, and of course we knew the nomination was up, and of course we knew the category was up, and then the speech, right? Like, how does one give a speech at the Oscars? Like, really? Like, how, मुझे पता, how was that moment for you? And can I please add this footnote, which is, if there was anybody who could be standing right next to you and literally expressing what she had to say with her eyes and her face. Guneet, have you seen that clip? You've seen that clip 100 times, I hope, because I have. You know, it was just like those souls, but you know, I mean, two people, but the same soul. So talk to me about that moment, that speech, and we'll come to your speech as well.
Well, initially when they first called out the names, when I said "the," we still had other films with "the," so
nice,
it was surreal at that point, because I didn't know what was going to happen after "the." So that was the cliffhanger, I think, cliffhanger moment for me, because it's like, was it the M or the E? And that's when it was the Elephant Whisperers, and that's when I was just overjoyed. And I think it was everything that we just built up during that entire time of just, it was like a flashback. I know people say that before they die, their world flashes back. But in this aspect, it was like the last 6 years just passed by so quickly.
Beautiful.
And it was a very beautiful moment, but it was very difficult to take it in at that point, because there were so many people out there. And when the moment I was walking up on stage and I went up there, I looked up at everybody. And I think the height of that theater is huge. I was looking at all these people, and that's when I took a deep breath. And I had it written down, because I wanted to be exact in that moment of time, and I thought it might be very overwhelming, because I'm a behind the camera person and not in front of the camera, so I just wanted to make the best of that moment and to put the message out there.
But I truly believe that I want to hear you, and if you can, मेरे listeners के लिए, अगर आप हमें बता सकती हैं कि आप किसे thank you कहना चाहेंगी, it would be amazing. Please give us your speech.
Thank you. So, you know, for me, I mean, I don't remember it right now, but it definitely was a huge thank you to my parents up there. You know, I feel like they and my Guruji, I feel like are angels who propel you, who make. I feel like मेहनत हम सब करते हैं, but जब रहमत होती है, तब चार चांद लगते हैं मेहनत पर. This I feel is absolutely grace. It's absolutely grace of God, and definitely Netflix, definitely Boman and Belly, Raghu and Amu, who I wish we could take to the champagne carpet and to the Oscars. In fact, we used to always say tux for Raghu and gown for Amu. You know, even in our internal conversations, while stylist conversations, we like tux for Raghu. So, you know, when the shortlist happened, this was our talk internally. Correct. Let's get tux ready for Raghu and gown for Amu. So absolutely, you know, Boman and Belly for opening their hearts and lives to us, for the entire Sikh Entertainment, because there's so many of them, so many of my amazing colleagues who believe in the power of storytelling and independent cinema, and choose to work together. And while there is so much out there to do in the world, so I'm so grateful for the entire team of Sikya Entertainment, my co-producer, Achin Jain, the Netflix India team, Monica Shergill, Neha Kaul, everybody, the Netflix US team. I mean, we experienced the best of both the worlds. You know, we were really loved and taken care of, which we are so grateful. You know, here is this independent film which is being celebrated globally because of Netflix and because it's like putting a hoarding on the moon, you know, to say it simply. Of course, my husband, who I absolutely forgot, 3 months old in my life, and 12th March was my exact 3 months anniversary, you know, from 12th December to 12th March. And and above and beyond everything, Kartiki, you know, for choosing Sikya as a production company and coming to us with a story. And and then all I wanted to do was dedicate this to my country, India, beautiful, diverse nation, and to women who dream, because it's time to be audacious, and it's for us and it's for our nation. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Give me Guneet a hand for this beautiful speech.
I have not only narrated but I've done it in a lot of peace and have some time to think, but I've also explained you my speech that was the entire thought process, you know.
Correct, absolutely. No, I love it. Also because I did want to hear from you.
Yeah.
You know, I saw the moment where, you know, Bowman and Belly were holding the Oscar. Okay, that was stunning. Okay, that was it was truly the image, and to me, that's going to be the image forever.
Yeah.
Rightful owners. Okay, it is their story. How do we ensure as storytellers that we're not forgetting, you know, what the bigger message of this film is? Is that important to you?
100%. I think it's really important because it goes back to where the story came from, whose story it was, and all along throughout this journey, the one thing that we've been pushing for is for them to have a voice. And I think India is comprised of many indigenous communities, and we stand for that. And they're the ones who've really been there, and I think this is their time and space. It's just really special to have the first Indian production film to be an indigenous film. I think that makes me very proud to say that our first film is an indigenous film, and definitely made by women. But at the same time, I think it's really special to have an indigenous film on such a global stage.
I love it.
Our connection to nature, representing India, representing women, and also it's a process of getting Bowman and Belly to understand what their story has done to the world. That's what has been day in and day out in my life, calling them, getting them to understand what the Oscars are, how important this is on a larger scale, not just for India, but as well how their story and their life and what they've done, how they view life has really touched people across the world, showing them examples of the fan art, showing them emails, getting it translated. It's all a process that happens behind the scenes, but it's been beautiful. I think that's the best part of this entire journey, is sharing what has happened with them. I think that's been the first and foremost thing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I think it is a true representation of our diverse, beautiful, gorgeous country. You know, because here is a Katnaikan community. Here is a language which is mixture of 4 South Indian languages. Here is Kartiki from Tamil Nadu. Here is me from Delhi, working in Maharashtra. You know, being an independent filmmaker in the Hindi space, making a film in Katnaikan and being launched at Netflix, putting it out to the whole world as representing India. So I feel so emotional about all of this coming together. You know, from an indigenous community to a debut filmmaker from South India, from me in Bombay, and with Netflix globally, I just feel like it's truly a true representation of our diverse country. And then to have an Oscar, it's a stamp of validation, you know, for our years of work.
You know, you're making me really emotional at this point. And I hope I can be. Is that okay? Because I feel all of us share in this. I remember in 2019, when we did that interview, this is what you said, Guneet. I said, "Kab se chahiye Oscar?" And you had said,
I think जब से business में आए तब से हर रोज 10 साल तो हो गए. It is very humbling and overwhelming to just be there as a nominee. मतलब win तो is next level. कहीं ना कहीं हाँ मैं ऐसा बिल्कुल रोज सोचती हूँ और रोज बोलते भी हूँ कि ऑस्कर तो जीतना है.
This is the promo that's been running on the radio since you won. But that is what it is. It's this beautiful conviction. I want women जो मेरा interview देख रहे हैं, मेरा show सुनते हैं, to always have these amazing women as your role models. They've told me that I could do anything, and I'm sure these two statues will tell you that you could do anything as well. Thank you for the Oscars.
For championing us.
Yeah,
It means a lot.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Radio Nasha.